So we have the T-Rex frame sliders, and these instructions are fucking shit. So it's taken a while to kind of pieces together. The pictures are so shitty on there. So this is the left side of the bike. We're gonna use this piece with the larger bumper on it. So you have two pieces. One has a small bumper. The other one has the larger bumper. So positions like this, we're gonna use these two bolts right here. So what I've done is I've loosened this side. It's gonna take, I had to have someone help hold the other side of this. So you have this deal here. It's gonna go on like that. So these two bolts are gonna line up. And then the spacer just hangs off in the back here. So we're gonna loosen these up. This has a little nut on the inside. You're gonna have to hold that. It's kind of, this is just really, really tricky. So I'll show you what it's like when these are disassembled. I'd like to introduce you to my shop mechanic companion, Harley here. She will be helping me hold everything and do all accessory labor. So I just got done unthreading this. There you have it. So this is the bar that comes out. So we're going to replace this with the stainless steel bar that came in the kit. There's two bars, one of them aluminum and one is stainless steel. So this is your aluminum one here, the black one. Gonna feel that, and then this is the stainless steel bar. So this will go through when it's all said and done. All right, so I have the second bolt free. This was a pain in the ass. This one was really fucking in there. You have to hold this the nut from the back. So what I did is I got the curved end. I put it underneath everything. I attached it on the back, and then I just let it stand there, like torqued up on the. I couldn't get any pressure down, so I had to stand up and make sure you put something on your hands. Fuck this, shut up. Banged it into the engine when it broke free, straight up into it. So now we're gonna go repeat that on the other side and get that other bolt out. All right, so now we're on the other side of the bike. See the center bolt that we pulled out shoots through there. We are going to be going after this bolt right here. So we're going to take this one out. And we're going to use the bracket with the short bumper on it. So it's going to spin this way. So bumper on the bottom. It'll line up with that hole there. This will have spacers in between. Line up with that bolt there. You can see that's where the aluminum bar is going to shoot through. And I'll go to the other side. So this is what the wrench looks like when it's fully seated on there. I had to stick the back end in first, up under here. This is going to be pressing, the wrench is going to try to be swiveling down while you turn on the other one. So you're going to just stick your hand in here, make sure you're holding it just in place, and the engine block will keep it from turning any further. But like I said, put a glove on, and so here we go. Alright, so if you don't have a torque wrench, or for whatever reason you can't get this loose, you can use you need an extended arm. So you'll take the biggest wrench you have, the most stable wrench, you'll grip it here, and you'll press down from the edge, and that'll break that free. And then if you do have a torque wrench, it's advised, but I'm not using one at the moment. And then we'll get the bolt from the back. All right, so we got these all seated on here, and then I realized the error in my ways. Sliders have to go on first. So don't do the same stupid mistake I did. Bolt these on first, and then follow the instructions that in the video. So disregard the fact that I screwed it up. All right, now that the arms are installed, we can continue the correct way. So make sure the little cutout that's on the arm is on the bottom of the piece. So back to the installation. We're going to work forward to when these are on the bike. Alright, so now we're cooking. So now we got both bolts undone. We got the steel rod out. So what we're going to do is organize everything we're going to need to stick it in to put the pieces together. So the large bumper side goes on the left. You're going to take the biggest spacer. You have two spacers, or two spacer sizes, two on each side. So the long spacer is going to go on the top piece. The short spacer goes on the bottom where the steel rod is. The original steel rod has this, it's like rubber gasket on it. But in the picture, this is actually metal, it is still in there. So you will place this like so, and the small bar, the small spacer, and the steel rod goes through there. Alright, let's do this. Alright, so I just staged this piece here. The rear bolt is not on yet. I'll show you have some options for holding down the rear nut. So you can turn the wheel opposite to the direction you're working in. Up through here, you have enough room to fit a wrench back there. So you can hold it from that end. And when you're tightening, the wrench will spin upward into the frame, so that'll hold it down. And then for this, so this has an Allen or a hex head on it. So you have two options. You can use an Allen wrench that fits. You're not going to get a lot of torque off that. This one requires like 45 pounds, something like that. So the other option you have is a hex bit. So I prefer to use this method. This will, if you're using a torque wrench, you're going to want to do this. This is the only way to do it. So yeah. All right, so this is pretty much locked in. So you don't have enough room to really get back here. It'll be really hard. So what I'm going to do is take the curved end, set the bolt in, go up underneath. Use the other hand to stabilize it. So this bolt is going to be held in by the wrench. So we'll just get it started. All right, so it's on there. You can see right up in here. There it is. She's ready to be turned, so you'll attach it the same way you did to get the bolt on there, and then you'll drive it in. Lift that up, make sure it's lined up. So you're not going to want to crank this one down all the way until the other bolt's in. Same with both sides. Because you can tell already the holes aren't lining up perfectly. And it's going to have to bend a little bit at the rubber piece or the spacer. We have the stainless steel rod. Comes with a washer and a nut for both sides. So take one side of the washer and nut off. And then you're going to mount the spacer from the base. Keep that little cap on there that came with. There you go. There we go. There we go. So it's in It's in a little bit now, so we're gonna keep turning it and adjusting it, and it'll go all the way through. You're gonna notice we come to a stop here. It's because the engine itself is falling a little bit. You can see in here when I'm gonna push up with my knee and arm at the bottom of the engine case. You see it moves a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna push up while we're driving the bolt. All right, so this was kind of hard to lift up. So what I ended up doing, I had somebody help me. To get this bolt all the way in, you're going to grab from the base, put your chest into the tank, and then come around the other side. I'll show you. You're going to grab right from here, right from this rigid area, and you're going to pull it up as tight as you can, and while they're sliding the rod through, and then make sure you keep this little cup on the other side. All right, so we have the rod through. So what we're going to do is take the other bracket, the smaller bumper. It's going to be placed on like so. So before we do that, we'll lace the stopper in there, or the whatever this is called. You will put that in there. Put the bolt through first, then the back piece, and then you will need the original nut that came with it. Get your face up in there. You'll be able to see. So we have it sitting in the wrench itself. And you can carefully guide it on. There you go. Layer is put these in first. We're going to back that out just to where it's flush. Get it lined up and then push the rod through from the other side. There we go. Perfect. And then the nut. And we'll just get this set on here approximately for now. So what you'll do is you'll take the bolt with one hand. I'd like to get over the top of the tank. You can seat the bolt in the housing, and then you can use your line of sight to line these up. So you see we have the bolt here and the rod. So just want to get this threaded just a little bit. So I'm spinning the rod right now to get it threaded on there. And then I spin it into place on the other side, make sure it's lined up. And then you line the other, screw the other side in. So now this is just being held in here, it's even. So we're going to get this approximately seated and then crank down on the other bolts. Alright, so this one is really hard to secure. To fit in from this angle, the wrench doesn't have enough space, so you can't, it'll start slipping out. So what I did was take the wrench downward, I slid it into the top here, used a screwdriver, my 2 fingers here. I did is I attached it on the bolt that way, so it'll attach and then it pushes up into the frame here to hold it down. So once you have it tightened a little bit, you can let go of it and it'll stay in its spot. And then it kind of pops out when you're done. Alright, so both sides are on. All 3 pieces have been tightened. This bolt here, I put the wrench in through the front here, and it had enough clearance. I don't know why the other side didn't. I'll just tighten that up. So now the next step is to put the fairings back on, and then once those are on, we put the pucks at the end of the arms. Alright, so this is the final masterpiece after all of that labor. So one thing I noticed is it doesn't fit as well as it should. So it does scratch the paint a lot. in that little area. I mean, the back's good. Let's see here. So the back fits, but the front doesn't. So and I found that on both sides. So it's just digging in, and everything else is lined up well. But so it's the completed project.